The following is an excerpt from the Discovery Institute's Humanize Today podcast, in which Wesley Smith, Chair and Senior Fellow for the Center on Human Exceptionalism, interviewed Chen Guangcheng, Distinguished Fellow at the Catholic University of America's Center for Human Rights, about his escape from Communist China and his thoughts on current human rights abuses committed by the Communist Party. To listen to the rest of this podcast, please visit humanize.today or check the links in the description.
Let's get into the circumstances of the tyranny in China. What is stability maintenance? Meaning they put a lot of money into making sure that the Chinese people stay in line.
Yeah.
I think that would be fair way to put it.
The Communist Party spent a lot of money to buy the high technology from the U.S.
Yes.
And then used that to create the system. We call it the Sky Eyes, to watch all the people.
Sky Eyes.
Sky Eyes, yeah. The Communist Party installed a lot of cameras in mainland China and used that to create the recognition.
Facial recognition.
Yeah,
yes.
facial recognition, yeah, the system. So since 3 years ago, the Communist Party used the COVID pandemic to create the new system. We call it 时空伴随, the space-time follow. And use that, if you bring your phone, the Communist Party can know where you are, where you...
So they're using apps that you have to have in your phones to track where you are and what you're doing and what you're saying and to spy on each and every person in China who has one of those phones.
Yes. So,
and I saw a news story where they can have green on the phone, which says you can, let's say, go into the bus.
Yes.
But if you step out of line, they'll make you red, and that means you can't take public transportation. You can't do other aspects of normal everyday living.
Yellow means you can't do that.
Yes.
Red means anybody can arrest you.
Yes.
Oh.
If yellow,
so anybody who's
yellow, you have to stay at home. You can't come out. The Communist Party will put a electric ring on your door. If you open the door, the ring will report to police and central control. Yeah, central control. That is yellow. If the Communist Party uses the computer to change your code to red, the meaning they can take you to arrest you.
And this is based not only on whether there's a COVID emergency in a particular place, but I assume based on your activities and whether you want to buck the system.
Yes, they use this system to keep the human rights activists under house arrest.
Yes. If the human rights activists tried to go to somewhere to help some person, the Communist Party just use the computer to change your code to yellow or red. Then you can't go anywhere.
And if you're at red, you could be dragged off and put into a black prison.
Yes.
And beaten and tortured or killed.
Yeah.
This is really very important for, I think, people in the U.S. to also understand, because I think we have had some technocracy attempts to control our behavior, certainly not to this degree and with this level of ruthlessness. But I have a theory, Mr. Chen, and I'd like you to give me your opinion on this. Mm-hmm. When the United States helped open up China and helped China financially, and we gave an awful lot of technology to China and put a lot of companies that make a lot of money from China, I believe that the thought was that with greater prosperity, China would also end up with greater freedom, and therefore China would become more like the West or more like the United States. But I think what has happened instead is that we've become more like China because we have adopted some of these technological approaches to at least persuading people to behave in a certain way. Do you think that theory is right? And I'm certainly not creating an equivalency between the tyranny of China and the West, but I do think that we've become less free over this time, and that we have actually moved more toward a technocracy than China has moved toward a free, human rights-based society.
I think, that is a big problem. The Western think give the Communist Party opportunity, they will change, right? More democracy will grow in China, but that is wrong. The Communist Party use that opportunity to get a lot of money.
Yes.
Become rich, right?
Yes.
Then they use the money to control the Chinese people. Then use the money to infiltrate the U.S. This is why the U.S., the human rights situation worse and worse. Mainland China, the human rights situation is worse and worse too. Never help to Chinese people, only help the Communist Party,
right.
authority.
Right.
So we have to stop to do that.
So all of the benefits of this society generally go to the Communist Party.
Yes.
And the people get the crumbs. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
The other thing I just want to emphasize, one thing he said, is this tremendous amount of money they have. They spend more money on what you were saying, Wes, about
stability control.
than they do on their military.
And they have the biggest military in the world.
Yes. Even this grab or steal the high technology from here and use that military to oppose back the U.S.
Yes,
So-
I know. I mean,
Yeah.
Lenin said, I think it was Lenin,
Even-
might have been Trotsky, that we will sell the West the rope with which we hang them. And that seems to be happening here in China.
I don't understand. I can't see, but I understand that. I know that. And I don't understand why the U.S. government don't know that.
I think, I
Why?
think that is something that for another interview, but I've got theories, but I won't get into that here. I don't want to take time away from you. Now, in terms of the Communist Party, there's more than 1 billion people who live in China. How many are allowed into the Communist Party? Approximately.
I think if you just look for that from internet, maybe you think still have a lot of people support the Communist Party in mainland China. You will understand a lot of people are weak now. They know the problem just because the regime. Since 3 days ago, from the big protest, you can understand a lot of people very disagree the Communist Party did.
Yeah, the people are mostly not part of the party.
Yeah.
Does the party select the people to join the party? Do you apply to be in the party? How does that work?
How many people in the party?
90 million?
90 million.
Yeah.
Out of and the entire country is more than 1 billion. So
Still a very small number.
it's a small percentage, and yet they control everything. They appoint the mayors, they appoint all the officials, they create the laws and so forth. Let's talk a little bit about why you think that the Communist Party is engaging in things such as the genocide against the Uyghurs and the organ harvesting of Falun Gong. These are some of the worst human rights violations in human history. Murdering people so you can take their organs for the black market. Massive concentration camps for Uyghurs. Slave labor for Uyghurs. Forced sterilization for Uyghurs. Why is the Communist Party so intent on suppressing people of religious belief?
You've been listening to an excerpt from the Discovery Institute's Humanize Today podcast, in which Wesley Smith, Chair and Senior Fellow for the Center on Human Exceptionalism, interviewed Chen Guangcheng, Distinguished Fellow at the Catholic University of America's Center for Human Rights. To listen to the rest of this podcast, please visit humanize.today or check the link in the description.